Welcome to this presentation titled The Truth About Supplements. My name is Sherry Stoka, and today I'm going to discuss different supplements that help with weight loss. But not only that, I really want to touch on some very important things to understand as you navigate this massive industry. You know, there's a lot of information out there. It can be very confusing. So hopefully you'll get a better understanding of, again, how to better navigate this system. The learning objectives for today are to discuss why weight loss attempts fail 90% of the time. You will better understand the different fat stores in the body. You'll learn what supplements can target the resistant fat stores. We'll discuss weight loss supplements that work and ones that don't. And then I will end with some success stories and discuss how you can get started yourself. So first things first, I always like to kind of take a step back and really remind people that the most important part to achieving a healthy weight is actually believing that you can do it. The second part is knowing what you want. You know, a lot of people have these ambiguous thoughts and, ideas of what they want, but until you can really be more specific with your goal, that's when you will really start to see things change. And of course, third is to actually take action. We can't just hope for things to happen and pray for things to happen. We actually have to put in the work to make it happen. Weight loss is multifactorial, and I always like to start, a presentation with this because I talk about many different topics, many different things related to health and wellness, and of course, weight loss. And it's very important to understand that weight loss is multifactorial. Lifestyle habits such as sleep and stress are so important. We have to become more aware of the toxic world that we live in. There is a huge need for detoxification. We have to support our liver, our gallbladder, our kidneys, because they're taking on a lot in this modern world. Hormone imbalances play a role, our mental health, nutrient deficiencies, and of course, gut health. So just to talk a bit about supplements and weight loss, essentially what we strive to do is to identify those supplements that are going to help burn the abnormal fat. I will talk about the different fat stores, but this is really the key to success in burning fat. Supplements we look for also, we want to provide that cellular energy. We want to spare muscle mass, boost your metabolism, again, support the liver, gallbladder, and kidneys for optimal detoxification, and maintain electrolyte balance in the body. So what's important to understand is that all fat is not the same. You can see here that people carry their fat in many different areas of the body. And some of the fat in certain locations is worse than others. So I think it's important to really understand this because the body burns fat very differently because of the location. So this just will give you an idea of the different ways our body stores fat. So you can see here, SF is subcutaneous fat, VF is visceral or that deep belly fat, and then we have like the back fat, which is the retroperitoneal back fat. So if you look at this image here, this is a moderate risk person, and so the subcutaneous fat is this layer right below the skin. Okay, so you see it is it's located not within the internal organs, it's more directly below the skin layer. And then you have your visceral fat, which is that deeper belly fat that we talk about, and it literally will start to layer these vital organs. And then the back fat, you can see here, will start to accumulate in that area. So again, everybody is different in how they store fat, but also your lifestyle and eating habits and things like that really determine that as well. So not only do we have different types of fat stores, but we also have just different types of fat cells. And we have 3 different types of fat cells. One is called brown fat, one is white, and one is beige. And they truly are very, very different. So I will go into more detail about each of these fat cells, but please just notice here, this is the brown adipocyte. Adipocyte is just the fat cell. And you can see enclosed in here, there are lipid droplets, nucleus, and the mitochondria. So the brown fat is full of mitochondria, which is a very positive thing. And then you have your white adipocyte here. So you can see it has very little mitochondria, nucleus, and a lot of just white cell, the white cell. And then the beige is a mixture of white cells and mitochondria. So kind of keep this in mind as we go through the next slides. So white fat is made up of large white cells that are stored under the skin or around the organs in the belly, arms, butt, and thighs. These fat cells are the body's way of storing energy for later use. Most people understand that. White fat plays a large role in the function of hormones, which are related to the estrogen balance. It plays a role in leptin, which is one of the hormones that stimulate hunger. It plays a role in insulin and cortisol levels. So this is really more of the fat that causes more imbalances in the body. Brown fat is fat that stores energy in a smaller space than white fat. And it is packed with this iron-rich mitochondria. So that's how it gets its brown color. It essentially acts like a furnace and creates heat. So, and this process is called thermogenesis. And so, as you can imagine, this type of fat is actually burning more calories. And then you have the beige or the bright fat. This is fat that is relatively newer in this area of research. It's kind of like right in the middle of the brown and the white. So it can help burn fat rather than store it, but it also contains some white adipocytes as well. Certain hormones and enzymes released when you're stressed, you're cold, or when you exercise, there's certain techniques that you can use to actually convert the white fat into the beige fat. And we'll talk just a little bit about that. So again, fat is stored in 3 different ways. We have essential fat, which is necessary for life. And this is fat that's stored in the brain, bone marrow, and cell membranes. So this is typically our brown fat, our very healthy fat. Subcutaneous is, again, the fat that's right below the skin layer. And this is usually a combination of the white, brown, and beige fat. So it can be detrimental, or it can have some positive components to it. And then we have the visceral fat. The visceral fat is, again, that deeper belly fat that really is the culprit for causing a lot of chronic health conditions. There are a number of things that you can do to increase the brown fat and therefore increase metabolism, because if you're increasing more brown fat, obviously you're going to be burning more calories. So some things that have been shown in research is this exposure to hot and cold temperatures. So some of you may have heard of, the ice bath or sauna or cryotherapy when you're submerging yourself in freezing cold water, high intensity, short exercise regimens. There was a study that showed if you chew gum 20 minutes after meals, you can burn more fat. Fidgeting more and incorporating non-exercise activities, so just overall moving more, just not being stationary all day long. Donating blood can actually help convert more white into brown fat, because the body uses energy to synthesize new proteins and red blood cells. So this can actually be a very positive thing, aside from doing good and donating blood. And laughing more, just having a positive outlook on life can absolutely help with this transition of white to brown fat. Most people know that there are risk factors related to excess fat, and the risk factors are heavily correlated to really that white body fat. And this particular image is probably a little more difficult to read, but some of the highlights here are heart disease. So it's going to increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, coronary artery disease, pregnancy complications, type 2 diabetes, hormone disturbances, and some cancers are correlated to at this excess body fat. Symptoms of excess white fat is temperature dysregulation. So if you're a person that really gets hot and then they're cold and it's really hard, you're sweating at times, this is a symptom of that. Imbalanced hormone levels, reproductive health issues. A common one is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this is more of an insulin dysregulation and insulin resistance type of problem that can start from excess fat, because again, it's creating this imbalance in the body. Vitamin deficiencies, neurological dysfunction, impaired metabolism, and of course, this dysregulation of blood sugars. So next I'm going to go into more detail about supplements, and really we're going to discuss what nutrients can improve fat metabolism. You're going to learn important things to know when really getting out there and trying to determine which supplements are best for you, because I will tell you, it's not going to be advised, especially, advised to go to Walgreens or Walmart to get your supplements. You're going to learn what ingredients work, what ingredients to look out for, and why you need a synergistic and strategic approach when it comes to really going after this abnormal fat with supplements.